episode. Gas Network presents sports for the culture.
I'm here with the family.
Price, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
D-Malo,
Gruff Lion.
T-Buggy, man.
Just the greatest sports show on the planet. La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
What up, everybody tuning in from wherever you're tuning in from. It's an eventful week in sports. And you're here with the gang, man. Gas presents sports for the culture. The illest and realest sports culture podcast in the game. Let me go ahead and introduce the fellas. I'm your host for the evening. I know y'all been kind of keep up with my rebrands. You can catch me at Nick DMV Real Estate. You feel me? If you're trying to buy a house, holla at your boy. if you try to sell a house, holla at your boy. If you try to rent a place, holla at your boy. And yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff going on in the real estate news right now. You know what I'm saying? There was this big antitrust lawsuit with the National Association of Realtors. So it's really a good time to buy, for real. You know what I'm saying? They about to change the whole thing up. But that's a different conversation. A paid conversation. Let me go ahead and introduce the fellas. Let me start with the top right.
Boogie, man. Y'all know what it is. Wash your hands, wash your ass. Hey, man, I'm ready to have a good show, man. It's definitely a lot of topics, man. It's one of the best times in sports, you know what I'm saying, when it's not football season. But, you know, even when it's not football season, it's still football season. So, hey, I'm ready to talk, man. Let's get it.
Yeah, even when it's not football season, it's still football news does still kind of, still has this nice presence here. So we're gonna talk a little football. Don't worry, football heads. Speaking of football heads, it's like, no, I'm just kidding. Bottom right, more like a soccer head. But
it takes one to know what helmet head. Hey, but finish with your ad. So you only working in the DMV area, right? DMV area only? That's what you real estate? Okay. Hey,
yeah,
look,
I got some good people out there in Jersey too, though. You feel me? If you need somebody in Jersey, I got you too. It's not me. My parents, though.
Hey, man. I'm officially recovering from the Saquon news. Now I'm happy. It's good to be a Giants fan. But most importantly, it's officially basketball season. This is where degenerates, like a couple of us in this in this live feed right now, are gonna be gambling every out of our hard-earned penny come this Thursday. This is the official beginning of this tournament, and I can't wait to spend all my earnings.
Yeah,
all my earnings.
Play responsibly.
Don't play responsibly. Put everything on Marquette right now. Fuck it.
We'll talk about that in a second. Bottom left.
Yes, sir. You know who it is, man. Your man, Young Rome 22 on all socials as always. Scruff, the rebranding is crazy, man. You went from a lion to 3 stacks. Now you selling houses. I feel like what you gonna be selling me next time I come on here, man? You gonna be selling me bean pies next time I see you.
I wasn't selling nothing before. So what you mean?
I don't. Well, what kind of rebrand is it gonna be the next go around, bro? I never know. Scruff,
He's gonna be a tattoo artist. He's gonna be a tattoo artist, guys.
You gonna have a whole new position.
In reality, man, the Scruff 3K is still, that's my personal account, man. But if people gonna find me on this joint, I want them to find my real estate page. They don't need to see my personal shit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, shameless plug. I got you.
It's a rebrand to the general public. As far as my friends is concerned, y'all know where to find me, man. You know what I'm saying? Geraldo sending me bullshit ass memes all day. He knows where to find me. Maybe I should change so he can't find me too. But this is what it is, man. You feel me? If the Gen Pop want to find me, that's where they're gonna find me at. That's all I'm saying. Not DJ Envy either. But yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it, man. A lot of good stuff going on right now. I think the most relevant thing is the NCAA tournament. They just announced the field of 64 It's not really 64. It's more like 68 because they got these little playing games and whatnot. But I want to just jump into that. I mean, obviously, March Madness itself is it's a very festive time, man. Geraldo, you spoke to it a little bit. It is a great time for the gamblers. People used to just submit their brackets and hope to get lucky, but now you got a opportunity where just last year, 16 seeded Fairleigh Dickinson upsetted Purdue, and Bryce's Yao Ming comparison. Um, lucky Bryce not in here. We'd be afraid up for these comparisons and all these evaluations and all that bullshit. But yeah, man. So like upsets happen, bro. Good time to put it. What day besides March Madness can you watch TV from the time that you're eating your breakfast with your bacon or oatmeal or whatever you eat, and then you go dinner time going to bed and you go lay down with the TV on and they still playing games. You're gonna be waking up watching basketball, going to sleep watching basketball from day sun up to sundown, Thursday and Friday. So it's very unique. So with that said, March Madness coming up. I just want to know what is your favorite thing about March Madness, and then after that, we'll dive into the matchups and the specifics. T, I'm gonna start with you, man.
Oh man, a good Cinderella story, but outside of that, not even outside of that, more to that, just watching these young guys' dreams come true, man. I mean, you've been playing basketball your whole life, like most of these kids. You want to play in a big tournament, man. Whether you go to a big school or small school, if you make it D1, your dream is to play in that 64, right? But like you say, 68, I guess now. And watching the conference tournaments, the heroics just to get there, and then these guys finally get a chance to knock off schools that didn't draft them. I mean, didn't give them the scholarship, not draft them. So yeah, just watching the kids, the parents, the expressions, the fans, schools that have never been there before or rarely get there every 20 years, every 30 years, and it's real excitement. And no matter what level of sports these kids go to after that, I don't care if you go to the Hall of Fame, you'll always remember those tournament moments. So I just like it's still a pure game, and that's what I like about it the best.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that, T. I saw a moment from the conference tournaments that speaks to what you talked about, which was, I believe it was Eddie House. His son plays for, I want to say New Mexico.
Yep.
Um, had a big clutch layup. He got fouled for real, but he finished the layup. It might have been an and one. Eddie House. He a little chubby in the old age, but he got up. He's like, "That's my son." He was hype as heck, man. And he was in the crowd in the stands, just going nuts. And it's just one of those things. We remember Eddie House from jacking threes in the NBA with the headband on. Now his son out here hooping and making a name for himself in the NCAA tournament. So yeah, I mean, definitely those type of moments are in abundance. Um, Rome, I'm gonna jump to you. G, you kind of already started, but I ain't forget about you.
Yeah, yeah. So my favorite thing, real quick, about the NCAA tournament, because I actually got a lot to say about it, real quick, is it's got to be the upsets, right? T kind of alluded to it. It's a chance to see Cinderella stories, and you kind of get like real, genuine basketball out of these tournaments. I mean, when you look at the women's tournament, it's a great field this year. It looks like a pretty open. Anybody could win it. So I think March Madness as in general is great for the entirety of basketball. I love how college basketball kind of takes over the entire sport and becomes even more important than the actual pro game in itself during this time. I would say March Madness is even so big that even led to the little in season tournament that we got this year in the NBA. So I honestly I love everything about March Madness. My favorite thing would be the upsets, but I really just love the tournament the brackets, all of it, how everybody really just starts to care a little bit more about college basketball. more so than any other time of year.
Yeah. It does have that effect, right? You know, you got the random people at your office that are just like, yeah, man, go to fill out the bracket. You got, people coming up to you. You know, if you're that sports
And
guy,
one
they're gonna be like, go
One
ahead, go
thing,
ahead.
one thing that's dope too about it being college is if you went to the school or your parents or whoever. So there's always these little, like I know that one year that Mason went on a little run. It was popping in this area. You would have thought the Commanders were doing something special. So I love how I'm a sports guy in general. So I love how something like that can, like a small school can go on a run and get an entire city or area invested in something that they're normally not invested in.
Yep. Geraldo's pissed because you somehow brought it to the Commanders, but we we're not going to speak on. We're not going to speak on that. We're not going to speak on that. But yeah, there's definitely local elements to that. You know, last year, Fairleigh Dickinson, Jersey School, feel me, made some big noise. You feel me? St. Peter's, another Jersey school. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm gonna go find me the lowest seeded Jersey school and pick them. In regards to my rooting interest. It's hard to forecast these underdogs, but I got a couple that I'm thinking about looking at the bracket. G man, let me hear your thoughts. Obviously, you said you're going to be wagering some money on the some of the
All my
games,
money.
all of your money.
All my money.
What's
All
your
jokes
favorite?
aside, man. My favorite part about March Madness, the tournament itself, the stock rise of a bunch of these players. I remember when John Morant had that crazy run, where no one was, a lot of folks were talking about John Morant being a top five selection. Here comes the March Madness tournament, and all of a sudden wherever he was at on the boards jumped up and he was a second pick overall just because of March Madness. And then you talk about a bunch of these guys where they're looking like a second round pick to start jumping to the first round. These top five picks, their stocks start dropping because they're like, okay, you start to see chinks on their armor. I like the fact that these big recruiting classes isn't like the football side of college where these big recruiting classes come in and they're automatically are guaranteed to be playoff teams. When it comes to this March Madness, it's about players and coaches, and that's the one thing you get to see in March Madness. Just as much as players matter, coaching matters, and because it's only one game, just like football, but it's just like let's see who coach puts the best guys on the field and who's been playing for their asses off. Pause. I mean, no Diddy. And then from here on out, man, this is the best time. This is the best basketball we're gonna be watching until the official NBA playoffs begin, in my opinion.
Yeah. I feel that. You lost me there, but for a minute, what was the general take of what the hell you said? Because like you kind of went off on a tangent there.
Oh
Uh,
no, in general, it's all about
oh,
the
players
players.
rising up to their levels, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
there you go. Yeah, man. I mean, definitely where the big players gonna rise up in the big moments. We gonna see, But I was just pulling up the bracket, just taking a look here. We got we got some interesting teams. Obviously, we got the top seeded teams. The UConns, the North Carolinas of the world. The Purdue's. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. We did see Purdue lose last year to a number 16 seed. So those teams are not. They're not. Not locks either. But so like, I want to hear your thoughts on. I say who out of any team. Let's define Cinderella. What defines a Cinderella? T. What would you consider a Cinderella team? Does it have to be below a certain seed?
I, I think you got to kind of be uh, lower than a six, lower than the seven, maybe on the bottom half, right? Lower than eight. And I think you have to be from a fairly small school for it to be a true Cinderella run, right? A school that, like when we saw Florida Gulf Coast and St. Peter's, and just when Curry was at Davidson, like a school that you don't usually see this time of year, goes on a run and they beat a team that guys had making a run. I think that's the true Cinderella.
Okay, fair enough. I
I
googled it. Go wrong. Go ahead, jump in.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with that completely. For me, if you're gonna be a Cinderella, I almost got to pause and be like, wait, that's a school. Like, what school is that? Like, I might have to Google your school. You know what I'm saying? I might have to check the credentials, make sure it's not a Bishop Sycamore type situation going on. But nah, like a true Cinderella, definitely to me, got to be a lower seed. If you made it to the top eight, I mean, see, you got a little squad. You know, like it wouldn't be crazy if you got the right matchup. If that type of team went on the run. But if you're talking about a Cinderella team, we talking about somebody that basically went from being the ugly sister to the prettiest girl at the ball. So you really got to come out the mud.
Yeah, I'm seeing here mixed results on the Cinderella. There's no numeric data on this. There's one article on here saying that 11 seed or lower, and another joint over here saying that if you're as long as you're not a 1 or 2 seed, you're a Cinderella. So I don't know. There's mixed reviews here. We're just
Nah,
gonna keep it in the broad category like sleepers, and shit. So who do y'all think is a team? This is a great time for y'all to get them out there early. If you just happen to just throw the dart on there and get right, then you might be that guy this year. Um, is it who? What is there a team that y'all see as a potential Cinderella on your bracket? Um, G, I'm gonna start with you.
Uh, right now I'm teetering between Texas Tech and Nebraska.
Texas Tech and Nebraska. Okay, why?
Nebraska is the eighth seed. Nebraska has what is it? They call him the Japanese Steph Curry on
Hmm.
that squad. I think that's him, and he played lights out. I was catching a couple, and then Texas Tech. You never know, man. I want to say it's like for me, a Cinderella is anything that's not coming from a big those big leagues. Like you talking about like the Big Ten, the Pac-10, none of those schools. Talking about those schools in the no name leagues, no name
man.
conferences. There you go.
All right. T, you got a most likely to be Cinderella?
I think this is probably one of the sexier Cinderellas we've seen in a while. If they can pull it off, because they have a chance of flipping Duke if they can get there. James Madison, I mean, that's a three-loss team. That's a team that from the area,
Good call.
the basketball hotbed. So they mess around and got a few guys that slipped under some folks' radar. And James Madison can do it, man. When I see a team with 3 losses, that lets me know they know how to win. Now maybe they haven't played the best competition, but they figured out how to win together, and that's always tough to beat in the tournament.
Yeah, that's one of the most intriguing things about the NCAA tournament because you do see teams like James Madison, 31-3. Technically, they do have the same record as a UConn. They only lost 3 times. Winning 30 games in college basketball is not easy to do. McNeese State is also 30-3. You know what I'm saying? They're a 12 seed. Another Cinderella candidate, I would say. You got a number of schools that are, not that well known, but they could
Yeah,
potentially do it.
I'm right there with you, T. I was honestly going to say JMU. Well, what I was going to say about them is I want to pick them, but I just because the locale, but I'm shying away from it because I don't want to jinx it, but I wouldn't be shocked if they went on a run. The true Cinderella, I think that we could get a legit chance, is what G said. I think Nebraska could go on a run with Homeboy. I don't want to butcher my man's name, but the Japanese Steph Curry is what they're calling them, and I think that's the kind of stuff that you get a player like that excites the crowd, excites the fan base, and that's the kind of stuff that helps propel you on a Cinderella story.
Well, I like y'all prediction, but y'all both wrong. Because Texas
Oh
A&M
yeah,
is
yeah,
yeah, that's right.
Nicodemus.
Yeah, nah. Watch your mouth, man. Be careful there.
I said
Um,
Nicodemus.
careful there. Like I said, Texas A&M is my Cinderella pick. And then, it's small sample size for me personally. I was watching the game like, well, I was watching a little of that conference tournament, and they was looking right. You feel me? They had some couple senior guards. You feel me? I'm a big fan of the senior. Two things about the NCAA tournament. Two things two things for sure. One thing for certain. Guards are Guard play is essential in the tournament, in my opinion.
Yep.
And I think generally we've seen the trend of college basketball is that there's a lot of one and dones, a lot of transfer portal. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on. Um, so you see a team like Kentucky, who's a top ranked team, number 2 seed if I'm not mistaken. A lot of freshmen, sophomores. You know what I mean? If guy's a junior, he's like ancient. And then you have these other guys that are like UNC. Where you got like a Armando Baycott, who he was a senior like 3 years ago, dude. So and then you got like BYU, who's got guys that are like 28, and then you got was it Hampton or what? Was it Hampton or I think it was Hampton or Howard or one of those, and dude's like older than Jason Tatum, legit. But yeah, you got a lot of these older cats. So I mean, I like seniors. I like teams that have seniors, and I like teams that have guards. For that reason, I got Texas A&M advancing past Nebraska. I got them upsetting Houston, and then I mean I got them beating Duke too, but we'll see.
So who's your final four?
Who's my final four? That's a great question. Hold on. Somebody else could jump in, but I gotta pull up my bracket, to be honest.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think we get a Cinderella team all the way to the Final Four. I got the ones pulling this one out, man.
All the ones.
Yeah.
Who you think Connecticut, the UConns could repeat?
Nope.
I don't think they repeat though. I think they get
0%.
to the four, but I don't think they repeat though.
It's not easy. I was talking to Jeeve earlier today, man. It's not easy to repeat. Only maybe 5 teams in the history of NCAA tournament have done it. The last team to do it was the Florida Gators with Joakim Noah, Al Horford, and them boys. Yep.
They ran it back. That they had pros, and those guys said, "No, we're gonna run it back." That I don't think that UConn team is the same, but it'll be fun to watch.
So who's your final four?
I got 2 number ones and like a 3 and a 4. I can't remember. I got North Carolina. Who's the other number one? Is it Kansas? Maybe.
Yeah, Kansas or no, hold up.
I can't
It's
remember. I got
Purdue and Houston.
Houston,
who's the number one on North Carolina side?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Now, who would they play in the Final Four?
Kentucky.
It depends.
No.
They could play Arizona.
Is it Arizona? I think I had I got 2 number ones. So 2 number ones meeting in the Final Four. So it's Carolina and I guess Arizona. I can't remember off the top of my head. Then the other
Arizona number 2.
You got Carolina making it to the Final Four and meeting another number one.
Yeah.
That's gonna be UConn.
UConn.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what I got.
And then on
Yeah,
the other
it was
side,
UConn is in the UConn is in one region, Carolina's in the other. On the opposite side, you got Houston, and then you got Purdue.
But I'll tell you guys my final four. My final four is
I got Tennessee and I got Duke, I think.
Okay.
I ain't gonna
For
lie,
me-
I got a big blue blood situation here. Go ahead, G.
For me, I got UConn, I got Arizona, I like Texas Tech after the shit they did to Houston, and then I got Tennessee and UConn to repeat.
I got a real,
This could be a blue blood year.
I mean, honestly, the way it goes is like, Cinderellas can make, if the Cinderella goes Sweet 16, you've turned some heads, you paid attention, like you did some things. You make Elite 8, even better. Cinderellas to the Final Four, it's a tough thing to do, man. It really is. Which is why I have UConn, North Carolina on the one side, with Kansas playing Kentucky on the other side. That's some real, programs right there. Any last thoughts here on the March Madness on the men's side?
Nah, just to
man, it's
piggyback
so
off
dead.
your point real quick, though, Scruff, on how tough it is for the Cinderella stories. Once you see those type of teams get to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, that pressure starts to mount because all the other teams, the world's looking at you like, oh, you're lucky to be here. You're not really, the caliber team to be here, and it starts to show. And I think it comes down to the mental part of the game, and if they really got the dog in them to really show up, because at that point you're punching above your weight class. So you don't see too many teams get out of that Elite Eight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'll say this, man. The first two rounds are just insane. Insane level of basketball and just chaos and just so much going on, man. These are the type of days where if you got the PTO, you can work from home. You know what I'm saying? You can do that, kick your feet up. Or if you're just lucky like me and this is just the industry you work in. All my meetings have been canceled for Thursday, just safe to say. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I think the first two rounds is crazy. But this is an interesting year, man. I'm gonna shift a little bit. Still
Hold,
NCAA.
hold
Go
on,
ahead, T.
I do got a bit of a tip for them live bets, man. Them first two rounds are such a teams are playing teams that have never played each other before sometimes they haven't played each other in 20, 30, 40 years, or if at all. You might not have tape or film to scout and really get a feel for these teams. So you're going to see a lot of teams come out and get down early when they're the better seed. If that is the perfect time to jump in there and live bet when those odds start to shift, money starts coming in on that underdog, that line changes, bro, just trust me. It's not going to be 10 upsets in the first 2 days. You might get 5 tops. So you can jump in there and pay attention. If you see a 1, 2, 3, or 4 down early, lay that money in. I promise you they're coming back in the second half.
Well, yeah, potentially. Yeah, that's definitely one. That's definitely a strategy. Or maybe take some first
Just
half
don't
money
bet on
line.
Purdue.
Yeah, I mean, I think Purdue. I didn't even want to bother wasting time with that, but I figured as much that I think we can all agree that Purdue is the number one seed, most likely to go down. Um,
Yes,
I think we
by
can all
far.
agree on that. They're like most likely number one seed to go
I don't
down.
know. Zach Edey got better from last year.
All right, I got one more I'm gonna throw out there at y'all. The first four, right? The teams that are playing in.
Yeah.
You got Howard that just lost to Wagner, so the 27-year-old Jason Tatum is no longer in the tournament. Colorado State's currently going up against Virginia, in which, damn, Colorado State kicking up
Yeah,
37-18.
yeah, that
Um,
shit's a wrap.
it's a wrap. Okay.
They can't.
Um, damn.
UVA's that coach can get fired.
There goes my take. I was about to say.
Ah,
Grambling. You got Grambling
wait,
State,
but
Montana
you're
State.
wrong.
No. I didn't say anything yet. Grambling State playing on Montana State, and Colorado's playing Boise State for Tennessee. Typically, we have seen historically we have seen teams from this first four end up playing into the Sweet 16. Actually, quite a few times in recent years. So I'll say out of those teams that I mentioned, obviously we already know that Wagner won. We already know that Virginia's getting waxed. So out of all those teams, which of those teams do you think is most likely to make a run?
I don't like any of them. They all sound like football schools. I tend to stay away from football schools sometimes, but
You're not going
and I
Buffs?
haven't
Go
seen
Buffs?
any.
Go Buffs?
I haven't seen any of those schools, but Colorado State stomping UVA. UVA is a legit ACC school. They've given better teams a better game, so it seems like they're a stronger team than most people thought.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I like to get this little nugget. Some of my bet is a 55% chance that a 9 seed beats an 8 seed. So keep that in mind in your brackets and in your
Yeah,
gambling.
there's a lot of those matchups that favor. I know personally, I'm a big fan of the 7-10 matchup. I like to go with the 10s, and I like the 11s. I like the 10s, I like the 11s, and I like the 12s. You feel me? Low-key a 9 is not even like, that's like hardly a
10 and 11 are usually teams that feel like they got slighted. They got a chip on their shoulder.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Tend to be a smaller conferences teams. New Mexico actually is 11. That's a team I would watch out for. Um, but yeah, we got some good stuff here. Good stuff. NC State is another team I like too. Another 11. James Madison's at 12. Damn, I might have to redo my bracket because that joint is looking. Yeah, James Madison that's a hot take. I like that. We could definitely put some money on James Madison tomorrow.
A five
I'm about to. Yeah.
always
Yeah, for sure. All right. So yeah, first two rounds are gonna be crazy. We'll be back with y'all next week to talk about that. But this is an interesting year. You know what I'm saying? Interesting year of sports, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we also got the women's bracket. And I'm very intrigued by the women's bracket this year, more than I ever have been. I'll say. I feel like the first couple rounds aren't going to be that interesting. I can admit. Not no slight, but like there's a lot of big star power in my opinion in this year's women's tournament. You got South Carolina, the number 1 seed. They've been dominant for a long time, and they got up and coming stars in that squad, and they pretty much had stars, for years now down that program from Aja Wilson to Aaliyah Boston to now I forget that girl's name, but she's nice. And you got Iowa as a number 1 seed. Caitlin Clark breaking the all-time record, going nutty buddy, as Geraldo would say. Just going crazy, man. UCLA, pretty good team. LSU just won it last year. They're a 3 seed on the same side of the bracket as Iowa, which is going to be very interesting. You got Notre Dame. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Hannah Hidalgo. Jersey girl, South Jersey, guard, tough. She built for it tough, man. She built for it tough. She played basketball like a Nissan Altima driver drives. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just
What the fuck?
very, very aggressive brand of basketball. I like it. She's scrappy as hell, man. But yeah, she's nice. I think we need to mention. Am I bugging or where is UConn on here?
UConn is a third seed. It's in Southern Cal. It's on the Region 3. Regional 3.
Oh, damn! I didn't even see this side of the bracket. Oh yeah, then you got probably the most biggest rising star in the game, Juju Watkins, USC. I mean, everyone is. I'm a huge fan of her. Paige Buckets, you feel me? Still at one time was the most celebrated college athlete of this class, and then kind of got lapped by Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and the gang. And you got some other schools out there, pretty good schools, man. But anyway, what do y'all want to see? Who do y'all think comes out of that? In that on the women's side.
I
Oh,
mean,
for me right now. Oh, want me to throw this over real quick? For me, it's Iowa. Iowa has the best matchup tournaments for me, in my personal opinion, because I got them going to the Final Four. I got them beating LSU, and then I have Clayton Clark versus Juju in the Final Four on that side of the bracket. I think Iowa's gonna have the best run in this match run this tournament. I think Caitlin Clark leads on the top, wins herself her national championship, and goes to the pros. I think a lot of us gonna be watching her play.
Okay, all right. I like that. I like that prediction. Y'all want to go Final Fours? Feel free. I'm not going to
I
require
still
y'all
haven't.
to.
Oh, so if I'm gonna give up my Final Four, I got Iowa, and then I got Southern Carolina versus Stanford. And like I said, I got Iowa versus Southern Cal.
Okay, I like it. Anybody else want to jump in?
I just know USC. I mean, I don't think I was getting past LSU, but I think USC. I mean, Don Staley, that mob. I mean, once you fight and a player gets ejected, man, that's the type of moment that galvanizes the team. And not to mention they won the game. So I think that team runs through this tournament fairly easily.
But we said that last year and they lost. Remember who they lost to?
Yeah, but I
It's
mean,
a new day.
I'm
I don't know,
intrigued,
man.
man. I'm intrigued. There's some heat and rivalry. South Carolina and LSU, they had that little scuffle. You know what I'm saying?
But the women, we more star power. This tournament, we know the names. We
Hmm.
we do. We
know the
do.
names because
Oh.
ladies got
More star power. Facts.
these guys are one and done, and you hear about them, and then they go to the G League, or and you never hear about them again. Some of these guys.
It's
Um,
true.
Me personally, I'd love to see Tech go on a run, but I think they're going to run into USC, and I think that'll prevent them from the Final Four. But yeah, I like USC in this tournament.
Yeah. The team I'm rooting for the most is definitely USC. I would like. I'm a big fan of Juju Watkins. I think she might be my favorite women's. She might be my favorite hooper right now, for real. But yeah, definitely nice. I got USC going to the Final Four, advancing, beating UConn in that bracket, which is going to be tough. I also just do. I could see UConn coming out of that bracket also. I don't see anyone from that other side of the bracket really making noise. That's the side with like Texas and Stanford and all that. They none of them worry me. I don't see a situation where South Carolina doesn't come out of their bracket, so go ahead and pencil them in. And then ultimately, this other side of the bracket is going to come down to Iowa versus LSU. That one's tough, man. That one's tough. Everything in my brain tells me to go LSU based on the matchups we've seen in the past, but I don't know. Ultimately, though, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. We'll see what happens, and then I'll reevaluate and pick from there.
So what's your
But right,
final four?
I just told you, it was
It depends on.
it's USC, South Carolina, um, it doesn't matter, but Texas, I'll say. Nah, it doesn't matter, but Texas. And then I said I couldn't pick the last one because I said it's going to come down to either LSU
But
or
you gotta
Iowa.
pick. You gotta pick. Come on, now don't be scared now.
I'll pick when I get when the game happens. How about that?
But
I don't.
the
I,
show is gonna be start. It's gonna start. By the time this goes online, all right, whatever, whatever.
I ain't gonna pick. You want me to pick? I'm gonna pick LSU. All right, fine.
There you go. Did it hurt?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just want to see. I just want to see what's gonna happen, man. I just want to see what's gonna happen. All right, let's keep it pushing, man. Past the NCAA tournament, we got a little conversation in the group chat, man. You know what I'm saying? We got some unexpected news. Was it this past weekend when Justin Fields got traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers? We was just on this show last week talking about Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins, and Bryce is on here talking about how Russell Wilson is still such a great pickup, and now they picked up Justin Fields too. You know what I'm saying, which is interesting. Um, Justin, in order to keep Justin Fields, you got to pick up his fifth year option, which is good amount of money. With all due respect, it's much more money than Russell Wilson is getting paid from the Steelers anyway. So investment wise, they have invested in the kid a little bit. But what is your thoughts on Justin Fields getting traded to the Steelers? We'll start with that, and then how does this incorporate into who's going to be the starting quarterback? What the future is going to look like at the quarterback position for Pittsburgh? Rome, I'm gonna start with you on this one.
Yeah, man. I think Justin Fields getting traded to the Steelers is a perfect scenario for Justin Fields. I think he puts him in a situation where, let's say he is the start or he isn't the starter. Let's say Russell Wilson's starting. You get to sit behind a quarterback who was on a Hall of Fame trajectory at one point, and you can learn the offense and get time. Or you go to Pittsburgh and you link with Mike Tomlin and you're the savior. You're the guy following up after Big Ben. The city gets behind you. So to me, this is a win-win if you're Justin Fields. If you're Russell Wilson, you still got to go in there and compete. You got a strong chance at being the starter week one still. So I would still say this is a good spot for you. The Broncos are paying you a boatload of money. It's not like you really needed to play football this year anyway. So I think this is a win all around, and I think this is great for the Steelers. If you're a Steelers fan, you should be very happy that you got two QBs that either one of them could lead you to the playoffs this season.
T.
Steelers are having a good offseason, man. They got Patrick Queen too, but I think with as far as Justin Fields, I think it's a good situation. Perfect, I don't know, but it's a great situation. I don't think, and I've seen a few people say this, Scruff, you included, that Fields will be starting by the end of the season. I don't see it. I just don't. I don't see it, and if he is starting, I feel like that's how you ruin this experiment. Because if Russ is struggling, you play Fields, he struggles, then you go back to Russ, confidence broken. Now you're looking for a whole new quarterback. I think the best case scenario, and I think the Steelers will actually do this, play Russ outside of injury, good, bad, up or down, is Russ's job, and Fields takes over next year. And also, I don't see Russ struggling. I know people are saying Russ is washed, but when Russ was at his prime, he relied on two things: a good defense and a run game. And what do the Steelers have? A good defense and a run game. So now you get Russ taking those first down handoff, second down handoff, third down play action, deep ball, perfectly thrown deep ball. It's first time since Marshawn Lynch that Russ had a run game. So if quick fantasy advice, if you don't have a quarterback and you drafting quarterbacks, go Russ, and I think you'll get more success and value out of Russ than most people will give him.
Yeah, go Russ if you want to be a bottom feeder in the league. That's not a good decision.
I won the gas league last year, so this is coming from the top. You know what I'm saying? Take advice from the guys that can't get in.
It's coming from the bottom the year before that, but that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with you at all, T. Personally, on several levels. One is I wouldn't draft Russell Wilson. That's a waiver wire at best. I don't see it, bro. I mean, I see Russell Wilson being the starter for now, right? I don't foresee that it's going to be a short leash. You know, I don't foresee it's going to be a long leash, though. There's going to come a time where he's going to struggle. Just as a matter of when. When is it going to happen? Right? When is he going to struggle? And then the good thing about the situation I do like, which you guys both spoke to, is that it's a good situation for Fields to learn from a Hall of Famer. There's no doubting that, right? Hall of Famer, All Pro, whatever the fuck. No doubting that, right? So he's going to learn from him for sure. We're going to hold a clipboard for a little bit. But Russell Wilson, for most of the season last year, was, the offense was moving, but it wasn't never, it was cooking at medium heat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever cooked all the way at medium heat? It's cook an egg at medium heat. Now take a little bit. Sometimes you got to turn it up high a little bit. If you lower it a little bit, you still the pan gets hot.
He played offense with no weapons and a coach that hated him.
Sure.
And didn't lose his job. And what, 6 interceptions off the top of my head?
Sure.
I think Russ will be fine in Pittsburgh. If he struggles, though, I disagree with you, T. If he struggles, they're definitely going to go to Fields.
When is Tomlin?
Fields already has experience. It's not like he's a straight rookie. And you want to talk about somebody that was cooking towards the end of last year. Fields wasn't playing bad either.
What does Fields do that Russ would struggle at?
Flash plays.
Let me put it like this. They're both very similar in styles. So we'll see if Russell Wilson is truly washed or not.
I don't think Tomlin is going to have a short leash with Russ. But like I said, worst case scenario, Russ plays bad. You yank him. You put Fields in. He plays worse. Now what do you do?
I mean, that's one scenario. Russ could play bad, and Justin Fields could come in and play great. That's another scenario. So, but this I don't think the leash will be short. I think it'll come down to the fans. Like if Russ goes out there, throws 3 picks, looks like trash, the fans aren't gonna allow Tomlin and the organization to be patient with Russ with Justin Fields sitting on the bench.
3 picks. How many are his weapons this year better than last year?
Yes.
How many picks
They
did he
just
throw?
traded who they trade? Deontay Johnson?
They got rid of Johnson. They're going to play
All right,
Austin.
okay, I'll give you that. Russ doesn't turn the ball over, but they can't go out there and lose games 13-3, 17-10. Russ doesn't put up points. Like Scruff was saying, sometimes you got to turn the stove up to high heat.
One
Sometimes you got to put the heat on high, bro. You can't leave it on low for the whole game. So
if Russ,
if Russ's numbers are looking bleak and they ain't putting up no points, it's gonna be Justin Fields' time.
if Russ can't outplay Kenny Pickett and the ghost of Kenny Pickett and the ghost of Mason Rudolph, the one thing that people might confuse and say Russ is struggling, that's a strong division. So you essentially could be throwing Justin Fields to the wolves by bad mouthing Russ, but we'll see. I've said my piece on it.
Fair
Russ,
enough.
hey,
For me, Russell is not going to lose his job because the Steelers aren't asking Russell to throw to be scoring over 21 points. That defense is going to hold any other offense to 15 to 17 points. All of us in that offense need to score is at least a minimum of 21 points. Last year, what they were averaging like 12 points a game, if that, and they still managed to win 10 games. They're not asking Russ to do no Patrick Mahomes kind of stats. Look, had that offense scored 30 something points. They just need 21 points and keep the defense off the field long enough that come fourth quarter they're gonna win that game. And it's just like what T alluded to. Russell is great when he has a great defense, which he has, and great running back. And he doesn't just have one good running back; he has two. And then on top of that, right? You think the Steelers are going to want to give up a fourth round pick for somebody that they know they don't? They're not even going to want to pay him as well. It's like what I alluded to the group chat. The Steelers are going to bench him this year. Come next year, they're going to give him that 5th-year option, and they're going to talk to him. Well, you're gonna get paid, but you're not going to get paid that quarter of a billy. You're going to give him like $100 and something worth of contract. But Justin Fields knows that his first year there, he's going to sit. He's going to learn under Russ, and then from there on.
Let's hold on. Let's talk about that trade compensation because I'm telling you right now, the Steelers don't give not one Singletary flying fuck about a fourth round pick if Justin Fields plays well. If Justin Fields comes in there and starts
But
cooking,
Justin Fields
and they,
isn't playing though.
win
I
in
don't
a
know
tough
why y'all think he's
division,
playing.
it's
Everybody
50.
came out and said Russell is gonna be the starter of the season.
The Bears traded him away for pennies, bro. A 6th round pick is a joke. A 4th round pick, if your quarterback is if you're telling me I have a starting quarterback for the next 3, 4, 5 years, you can have the 4th round pick. I'm not thinking twice about the
No,
4th round pick.
no,
because
Trust me,
see,
if Justin Fields is
and
if
this is
Justin
why you're
Fields
a
is cooking,
Commanders fan because you
they're not
guys are
gonna be
giving
worried
up
about a 4th round pick.
good picks. You are worried about a fourth round pick.
No, you're
Look who
not.
you find your
Not
starters at.
not for a quarterback. No, it's
Yes,
a
you are.
typical Giants fan. You find your starters in the
Oh,
4th round.
no,
typical Commanders fan. You,
I
you
think
find it. You always
I,
go for the first rounder. Look at Chase Young. How'd that go?
I I think G makes a good point. If you play Fields and he comes in there and he lights it up, now you got to pay him. Now 4th round pick, and you got to pay him. Look, I don't.
So if Russ
It's a good
goes in there
situation
and
to
lights
have.
it up, and then who are you paying next year? You're
If
going to have to pay a quarterback, bro. That's
no,
But you're
unavoidable.
paying a
They both
quarterback.
angling for a new deal,
no,
basically.
okay.
Russ said it too. He said, I'm
If
trying to get a
if Russ
long-term
lights it up, you
extension.
still go to Fields.
And you're paying somebody.
No,
What is
But
your
you're not
point?
paying nobody.
not
Why
paying
would
him.
you pay somebody when you know when Russell already knows he's not gonna get a bigger contract because he knows well they're gonna try to pay Justin Fields if I want more money.
You do the
So he
Alex
knows
Pat Mahomes. You say, hey, you did a good job. We won a lot of games, but you're old and you got to go. And this is what it'll tell you. Camp. Pay attention to what comes out of camp. If people are ranting and raving, teammates, people that go to OTAs, if they're ranting and raving that Fields looks great, all right, then maybe I'll buy he plays. But for my money, he can't outthrow Russ. For my money, I think he'll get the camp. I think the coaches will say, I see why they gave him up for pennies. But that's just me. We'll see. Maybe he changes some throwing mechanics. Maybe he makes better decisions. I don't know.
I mean, I see
maybe
where
he
you're
can't.
coming from with that.
Go ahead, bro.
I see where you're coming from with that from that perspective, T. But I think right now it's all ifs, it's all speculations. It's March, right? So all I'm saying is, if Justin Fields plays well, they're not going to be worried about losing a fourth round pick. Trust me on that.
This what makes you think? All right, and outside of the Steelers, what makes you think Justin Fields is a good quarterback?
I feel like that's more where you're leading the conversation.
I test.
And me personally, I like what I saw from Justin Fields. Does he need to work on his pocket presence and letting it go and reading the defense more? Absolutely, but that could be contributed to poor organizational structure, different offensive coordinators, different head coaches. I think the Chicago Bears failed Justin Fields more so than his lack of overall talent. That's why I said I like this situation for the Steelers. Let him sit behind Russ. I agree with you as far as not wanting him to play. I'm just saying, if Russ plays poorly and Fields doesn't, then I can see them rocking with Fields. But the longer that takes, I think the better for Fields and the Steelers.
Who's the last like young quarterback that didn't sit outside of Stroud, that didn't sit and played well? Burrow, maybe? Burrow, Herbert?
I mean, no, I was gonna say nobody really, because as well as Stroud did, that's one season, and I'm not saying that he's not gonna play well next season, but for me, you kind of got to string that together. Like a lot of the people that set, like you see Pat, Aaron Rodgers, those guys set for a year or more, and they've had sustained greatness. So I think the key to sustained greatness is sitting and learning, as well as getting out there and getting some work.
I think the
Jordan
key to
Love, Brock
sustained
Purdy,
greatness is the situations, though. It's a lot of it's the situations, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Good
true.
situations. That's what I agree with Rome on, is the fact that the Chicago Bears did not put him in a position to succeed. He really got he got the shitty end of the stick, bro. Because he fell to them in the draft. They were not a good team. They didn't have no one around them. He jumped right into a rebuild, and they were basically like, "Hey, man, show me what you got." Like, okay, so like. So you want me to throw the who exactly for for a long time, and then they finally got DJ Moore, and that was like the first little turning of like, okay, we got some pieces for you now. It's like, okay, you at McDonald's, okay, we got you a grill now. So then he trying grill and shit, but he got a lot of other stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this, bro. Justin Fields, maybe he wasn't, maybe he not, maybe he can't outthrow Russ yet. But you start learning from behind the vet, you probably will be outthrowing him sooner or later. But one thing that Fields is the electrifying athlete. Electrifying athlete. In my opinion, my very humble opinion, I believe he's the most electrifying athlete at the quarterback position in the NFL. Yeah, I do. I mean, with that said, I like Jalen Hurts, right? I love Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts strong as hell, but Justin Fields might be faster than Jalen Hurts. To be honest, I don't think I love Jalen Hurts, but like I don't think Jalen Hurts is that much better than Justin Fields. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? Like the
I
Eagles
mean,
would
there's
have
some
got him. I
unlocked
would have been good.
potential with Fields for sure.
I think
And
Fields is in a bad situation.
my last take on the whole thing is, I think the biggest thing that Fields could take away from Russ is, because Russ taking a lot of heat in his career, obviously we all know, but the biggest thing Fields could learn is how to maneuver through the media, how to take some of that criticism and still be a professional, how to take that criticism, show up to work, and still, what I'm saying, put your best foot forward. Because Fields, much like Russ, is taking a lot of hits in the media these past couple seasons.
Yeah, that's a good point. He'll be in a good culture, good leader. Like, yeah, he'll learn how to be a pro.
So I got a question, right? In this division that Fields is going to, right? You think he gonna go 500 against The Ravens, the Browns, and the Bengals.
He would lose every one of those games.
I'm not so
They,
sure about how the Browns going to be next year. We'll see. I mean, they had a
no, no,
good
no.
year
But
this year.
They
giving
got
you a
a tough
fact.
defense.
Okay, so now he's not going against like the Green Bay Packers and Lions defense. He's going to legit top 10 defenses. You think
But
he's
here's
going
the logic.
to?
Here's
So
the
what
logic.
he's going to think?
They were already a 500 football team without him, without anything substantive at
But you
quarterback.
need Justin Fields. If you want him to start, right, what do you think he's going to go against these teams in? T just said he's not going to win a game.
Both of those
I mean,
teams. This is my take.
it's like T said earlier though. If all either one of these quarterbacks have to do is outplay Kenny Pickett and the ghost of Mason Rudolph. That's all
I
you got
think
to do.
I got some numbers here for y'all. Average points scored per team per game last season in the NFL, right? The Steelers only scored 17 points a game.
that's what I
You
said.
know what I mean? And they were able to win that many games. Both Chicago and Denver, mind you, Chicago scored more points per game than Denver, slightly. Both of them averaged 21 points a game, roughly. So, that's raising your bar up 4 points a game, which is in the Steelers, when the world of the Steelers, that means a lot. That could
Numbers.
be an extra win or two.
Chicago was in a bunch of junk games when they're getting blown out where the points didn't matter. Backups are in. Steelers were in a battle every week, except against the Niners.
And they hung up 40 on the Commanders. That's all I know. Remember that game when they went crazy? They were going crazy. You feel me? Pittsburgh ain't seen nobody do that. Like literally, that game he had against the Commanders, Pittsburgh hasn't seen anyone do that since Ben Roethlisberger. So
No,
let's
that's
not
fact.
act like he wasn't going crazy. Like,
Now,
you feel me? He
don't
was
get.
going crazy.
I want to see Justin Fields go to camp, beat Russ out, be a 10-year starter at the least. Like that's what I would want to see. I just, I'm my mind doesn't take me there, and I want to hear what comes out of OTAs. Then I'll know for sure.
I'm gonna say it now, while it's fresh. Not only would Justin Fields be the starter some point this season, I won't put a time limit on it, but Justin Fields will be the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the next 5 seasons, beyond. He's the quarterback of the future. Believe that. Justin Fields will be the quarterback of the Steelers longer than whoever the Commanders drafted quarterback into.
Wow, that's a hot take. That's a hot take right there.
That's not a hot take. That's not a
Really
hot
not.
take.
That's a hot take.
It's really not. That's just Captain Obvious over here.
Commanders gonna find their next Jason Campbell.
They're gonna go
Yeah.
draft the next Sam Howell.
Yeah, they're gonna
Oh,
find
man.
themselves the next Chase Young. He's gonna be good for one rookie season. After that, it's gonna be just a bench quarterback.
All right, man. Let's keep it pushing, man.
And how much I want to bet the trade for Kirk Cousins in 2 seasons from now?
Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, that's a hot take.
Let's keep it pushing, man. Like I said, let's talk a little NBA, man, real quick. Things getting interesting right now. You feel me? We about a month away from the playoffs. Things are starting to shape into form right now. I'll give y'all a little rundown on the conferences right now. Currently, the Oklahoma City Thunder hold the number 1 seed in the West, with a slight edge over the Timberwolves, who are holding on through Anthony Edwards playing quite good basketball, despite Karl Anthony Towns going down with an injury, who's expected to possibly return around the time of the playoffs. All 3 of these teams are within the same striking distance. Oklahoma City, the Thunder, Oklahoma City, the Timberwolves, and the Nuggets, the reigning champions. Feels as though the Clippers are falling out of that contention, and they're firmly in that 4 seed, with the Pelicans right there at the 5 seed, the Kings at the 6 seed. Well, things get a little tight here. Right now, the Mavs are on the 7th seed. 8th seed is the Suns. The 9th seed is the Lakers. And the 10th seed is currently the Warriors. And that would be your play-in pool there. Mavericks, Suns, Lakers, Warriors. Damn. It's going to be a hell of a play-in tournament. Out of the Western Conference, which of those teams, the lower seeded teams, most intrigues you? And then overall, which team overall do you think is most likely to come out of the Western Conference? G, I'm gonna start with you on this one.
Damn, man. I don't want to sound crazy, but I want to give you guys a hot take. I'm gonna go with the Lakers, man. King James and Anthony Davis. I ain't gonna see him be Captain Obvious and pick Dallas, but it's still something about, man. It's something about LeBron James come playoff time, man, and how he plays basketball, man. Which is like, it would be something sad if you don't see him play the way he's been playing this year. If he doesn't get the chance to play in the playoffs, so I want to say the Lakers is for me is my underdog team to watch.
G, I'll say I mean, I respect your opinion, and I think you're fooling, bro, on this one. I don't foresee the Lakers. I mean, I could see them making the playoffs, but I don't see them actually doing anything at all. But there is one
As,
team
as,
here. Go
as
ahead.
long as the Denver Nuggets stay in the third place, why not? Because I think they could beat the Timberwolves or OKC.
I'm not even sure if they make it in the play-in. Actually,
Bro,
that
the
gives me
Suns, you really think the Suns are gonna make it, bro? Beal and Booker don't even play. They fucking have they call each other, I'm gonna take this day off. Nah, you take that day off. They don't know when they don't know
Well,
when
that's
they're
the
gonna all
thing.
play together.
yeah. Well, that's during an 82 game season, but ultimately during the playoffs, they're gonna play in those games.
Yo, listen,
But
Beal called John Wall and told him, yo, give me the script. I want to get the big contract and I don't want to play ever again. That's what Beal is doing right now.
maybe so. Maybe it appears that way. But I personally feel like the Suns, out of all those teams in the lower bracket, I think the Suns are the most likely team to advance to the conference finals or whatever the case may be. That team can actually win the championship, or yeah, that team is just good enough to win the championship. Let's be honest, bro. The Lakers are not, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think looking at the lower seeds, man, I kind of like some of the lower seeds better than the higher seeds, if we're being honest. But to Scruff's point, man, I like Phoenix. I like Phoenix for a lot of the reasons that Scruff is saying he likes, or that G saying he likes the Lakers. I think come playoff times, they turn it up. I think they're just a better squad, and I think that'll show once they're actually in the playoffs. They might mess around and win enough games and not even be in the play-in tournament. To be honest, I mean they're only what a half game out.
But ultimately, they got KD and Book. Like if Bill shows up and does anything, like they got a real good shot. For real. But that's just me. And Bull been ball. T, what's your thoughts?
It's funny, y'all. Those two teams I think can beat everybody outside of Denver. Now they obviously probably both don't get in. It'd be cool if they both got in, but then who drops out, right? I,
Dallas.
I could see them kicking Kyrie out and saying, "Hey, we want LeBron in," and the script makers make the script.
They
That
call Vegas. Vegas called.
I would not be surprised one bit if that's what they do. But shoot, I don't know, between Phoenix, like G said, they're never all there. They're never all there, and then when they are there, they seem to play hot hand. Like if KD's hot, KD shoots all the shots. If Book's hot, Book shoots all the shots. It's like, bro, we need both of y'all to be hot if you really want to be the team. Like it can't be one game me, one game you. It got to be maybe one half me, one half you. But I don't know. Lakers have enough pieces, but they can't seem to put all the pieces together. I don't know if it's age. I don't know if AD is just not a dog enough, which is probably both. But if I had to pick which team, I'd go Lakers before I'd go Phoenix.
All right. Overall for the conference, who do y'all got coming out of the conference?
The Nuggets. Is that even a question?
Yeah, it is a question. I mean, the Nuggets.
I mean, it is, but I don't want to be Captain Obvious.
Hold on now. Let's not get too far into the moment recency bias. the Nuggets did have a nice run last season, but like they've been a good team for several years, and they haven't actually been able to put it together for a long time. So like, shit aligns once in a while, but it doesn't mean you could just expect them to just win it again. Like I don't think so. Personally, I don't got I think Denver. I would say Denver's probably the second team I would pick. Personally, I think the Thunder are going to come out of the West. And I think the Timberwolves. I mean, they have something there to say because they've shown that even without Cat, like what I'm saying, Anthony Edwards is playing, raising his level. But I like the Thunder personally. I think they're a young team. They got the right energy. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to me is might be the MVP. Definitely in the conversation. Yeah, I like the Thunder coming out the West personally. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the West is a bit of a toss up, man. I see what you're saying about Minnesota without Cat, but I kind of lean towards OKC, but at the same time, I could also see Phoenix running it, man. So I don't know. I guess if I had to pick, I would go OKC because that feels a little bit safer.
All right, T.
I mean, I like OKC. They play efficient style of ball, but Denver knows how to win at this point. And then does that get them a championship? I don't know, but I think that gets them out of the conference. They know their roles. They have well-defined roles, and when they're rolling, no one can do anything with them. It's not like when they play their best, teams can play their best and beat them. No, when Jokic is going, Murray's going, Porter's hitting open shots, Gordon's been a glue guy, bro. Nobody can beat that team. I don't care what Ant and SGA and the rest of those guys, Paul Georges are doing. For my money, Denver, like you said, that's been a team that's been around. So regular season, they know we just got to get there and get home court advantage. Denver's coming out of the West.
And they just beat the Timberwolves right now, 115 to 112.
Again, that's a depleted team, but yeah. But
Yeah.
But then you're talking about a Cat coming from a knee injury. Like, do you think he's gonna come back fully healthy to start a playoff?
first of all, he wouldn't be starting the playoffs against Denver. He'd be starting them against the play-in team. So it's a little different. A little different when you're playing against the Lakers.
You know the Timberwolves.
Like
you know they haven't beaten the Lakers this year, right?
what now?
You know the Timberwolves haven't beaten the Lakers this year. You know that, right? I think the Lakers got that series.
Lakers
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Lakers can beat every team except Denver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For me, it's like the Denver. Once, because
Well, I agree with you guys.
because you got
That's why I think
for
the
me,
West
for
is
me,
more
it's like what T alluded to. If you can't stop Aaron Gordon, and there's Aaron Gordon going off, and if you stop Aaron Gordon, then you got Michael Porter Jr. and you got to stop one of those two big guys because you already know the other two main guys are going to go off. It's all about who that third guy is, and if you can stop the third guy, you got to stop the fourth guy.
I think a
And
lot of
it's
it comes
hard to
down to
do that.
matchups, man. A lot of it's going to come down to matchups, man. Because, like, you know, I don't know that, for example, like if Denver were to play Oklahoma City in the conference finals, I don't know that they can guard Jokic. But I like if Timberwolves were to do it, hell, I think that team is the most equipped to guard Jokic because you got a big. You got two bigs. You got a big to guard Jokic, and then you got a big to go off ball, or you got a big to cover Aaron Gordon, or however you want to play it. Defensively, the Timberwolves pose the biggest threat to the Nuggets from that perspective. And then you got other teams like the Clippers are a very strangely built team as well. They're really not. They're not that big on the front line. They're mostly have guys that are like 6'6" to 6'9". You know what I mean? So like. That's interesting. If they go up against the Pelicans in the first round, Zion will be bulldozing the fuck out of them boys, and that's going to be interesting as hell. Zion been playing really good basketball, mind you, and it's all going to come down to matchups. But I highlighted the West because I do feel like there are legitimately teams in the 8-9 area that could win it, like win it all type shit, and that's why I brought it up. Because I do think the Suns, personally, I would like the Suns, but if you want to say the Lakers can win it all. I'm not saying you're nuts.
I think I'm nuts for saying that. I'm not saying the Lakers can win it all, but I'm thinking the Lakers will go to the Western Conference Finals.
All right,
The
fair
teams
enough.
at the bottom of the West are definitely better than their record shows. I'll say that.
Not the Warriors.
No,
Like, except for
no.
I mean, as far as the Suns and the Lakers,
I don't
I
like.
could easily see the Lakers turning up in the playoffs. Like that's not far fetched. I don't think
Uh,
they win the whole thing, but it's not far fetched to see them turn up in the playoffs.
They did win the in season tournament. That did happen this season. It'd be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see though. West is gonna be crazy, bro. For all the way from the play-in to the championship, it's gonna be crazy because I do feel like a lot of those teams. I don't think the gap between 1 and 8 or 9 is that big in reality. So all right, let's move over to the East, man. We're not going to discuss the play-in on the East because it's not really that.
is Miami's to win again? Literally, it's
I mean, it's
Miami's to
like
win.
Miami. But right now, it's the Pacers, it's Miami, it's the Bulls, it's the Hawks. The Bulls shouldn't. I mean, that's not even a good basketball team. And the Hawks,
Is
bro.
not
Hawks are
another.
always just. They're like they're just in there, bro. Like they're mid for real. And then you got the top six, which is pretty strong. You got the Celtics currently holding on the number one seed by 10-game lead, which is solid. You got the Bucks, who recently changed coaches. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers at the 3 seed. You got the Knicks at the 4 seed, who have been playing good basketball, but hell, they're banged up. Number 5 seed, you got the very solid young Toronto. I mean, my bad. Used to Toronto being up here. What the hell? Orlando Magic. And then the Sixers currently holding it down with the 6 seed, holding it down without Embiid for right now. Embiid is projected to be back maybe a week or two before the playoffs. We'll see. But I think that's interesting as well because this is going to come down to matchups. We got the top 6 seeds. It could change, but it looks pretty solid right now. The Celtics will be playing the play-in. First round matchup for the Sixers would possibly be the Cavaliers. The 2-3 is pretty much gonna be locked in more or less. So like, I don't know. It's interesting. What are your thoughts about the East? Who do y'all see coming out of the East, and why? T, I'm gonna start with you.
Tatum's year, man. It's the Celtics year. I think the Celtics actually win it all. I don't think they just come out. I think Tatum finally gets that gets his ring. LeBron spoke on it. The king, you know what I'm saying, has crowned a prince. So, the script makers are looking at that and saying, erasing and rewriting in Tatum. So I think that's what we see. The Bucks and Doc Rivers, they don't have enough. Middleton, non-existent. But I think the biggest difference with Boston is Drew Holiday. Boston having Drew Holiday is a upgraded version of Marcus Smart. Better defender, better shot maker, better decision maker, and I think
Taller.
gets them over the hump.
Yeah, Drew Holiday is a championship piece, man. The league fucked up when they let Boston get Drew Holiday. Man, the Bucks fucked up. But yo, G, I'm gonna let you jump in. I already know you're gonna say the Bucks, which is I still don't understand your logic. But go ahead,
How
man.
don't you? I see. T won't say it here because he's not trying to jinx himself. Everybody knows that's his squad, so he's going to jinx Boston. I personally don't think Boston has a head coach for this. He's going to get out coached in the playoff. It happened last year against Miami. It's going to happen again this time around with Doc Rivers. I think the Bucks finally found a way to have Dame and Giannis play with each other. It's the pick. They're doing the pick and roll officially now. It's like it's working, and that's why you don't need Middleton no more. It's like you just need Middleton just to be there, just to create some kind of defense and a little bit of offense. Because you're not really relying on him like you did that championship that one year where it's like, that he was the second guy to Giannis. Now it's just like, man, and I understand why they let old boy go to Boston. Man, listen, you don't care too much about defense in this league. Clearly, motherfuckers want offense. So yes, it's the Bucks, and not for nothing, man. How many times are we gonna see Tatum and Brown go to the Eastern Conference Finals and just stink it up again? Not because they're not good; it's just they don't have the right head coach, and their head coach is right now in Houston trying to get them young guns going for next year, and they're gonna regret it again. It's gonna and then the crazy thing about it, Boston has turned into what we used to say about the 76ers with Embiid and Ben Simmons. It's gonna get to that point where it's like, yo, how are we gonna win with these two? In reality, it's all the head coach's fault, and I see the Bucks winning these Eastern Conference Finals.
I totally disagree with you on almost everything that you said. Starting with the fact that you said that Doc Rivers is going to outcoach somebody. That like, what are you talking about, bro? First of all, like, I've never
What
seen
did
that
I
happen.
miss?
I've never seen that happen. He said that the Bucks were going to come out of the East.
He said Doc Rivers
Um,
outcoached Joe Mazzulla.
and he said that the
Does that
Celtics
sound
coach,
crazy to you guys? Does that sound
yes,
crazy to you?
yes, yes, it does.
How Joe Mazzulla has done what?
Nothing.
Bruh, he's done the same thing that Doc has done, as
No, he
far as
hasn't, because Doc got a ring.
showing me that he can coach and actually. Well, I could have got a chip with KG and Paul Pierce and them boys, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. He
He
got
took him
one
to
chip.
two finals.
He got one chip with a team that could have won 3, 4 chips. Like, come on, bro.
Sure, because you're talking about Kobe. Kobe was still there.
Whatever, man. Doc Rivers is not a good coach. He doesn't. He's good at letting people play basketball, but he's not a good coach. He doesn't draw shit up, bro. Doc Rivers, it's just stick figures. Get the ball to Giannis, type shit. He don't got no fucking plays, bro. If they win, it's gonna be because of Dame Lillard pulling out some crazy shit. But I don't foresee that. I do agree with T. I think Boston is the favorite. I do feel like this is the best odds for them to win. But I don't see the Bucks winning, and I this is maybe going to come as a not surprise, but I do feel like it's one of those everything has to come together at the right time. But obviously, I believe in shit like that because I just said that the Suns could make it to the conference finals. So if Embiid can get healthy before the playoffs, I swear to God, man, I've watched the Sixers play. I just saw them beat Cleveland twice actually without Embiid. So if they're matched up against Cleveland in the first round, I feel fairly confident that the Sixers would beat Cleveland. And then I feel fairly confident that if they were going against the Bucks, that Nick Nurse can actually that's a man that can outcoach somebody. Nick Nurse can outcoach Doc Rivers. And that's going to be exciting to watch, being on the other side of that for once. And watching Doc Rivers out there doing the bullshit. You feel me? So this is my prediction, right? Embiid comes back, Sixers go and beat the Bucks. Bucks fall out in the second round. Sixers finally make it to the conference championship, and they go against Boston.
So that means you're telling me you guys are playing in the playing tournament?
Nah, we're a 6 seed right
Yeah.
now.
So how you gonna play the Bucks?
Second round.
Bucks are 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna beat Cleveland in the first round.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Stay
Okay.
with me. Stay with me. Yeah, we're gonna beat Cleveland in the first round. We're gonna be because we've been beating them. We beat them without Embiid. You feel me? So
Yeah,
now
but
you put Embiid in there.
did Devin Mitchell play? Donovan Mitchell play?
Yeah, and Devin.
No, he didn't. He didn't play. That's
No,
crazy.
he did. He did. He did. Even with Devin Mitchell, they couldn't beat us. But yeah, I think the Sixers. I think this is the best supporting cast the Sixers have had ever. This legitimately is the best supporting cast, and it's not name power. It's basketball, man. It's real basketball, bro. They got Kyle Lowry in there coaching up the young boy Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey playing like a man on fire. Can't touch him. You got Kelly Oubre getting hit by a car and he's still balling. You feel me? And then you got Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid come back to all that. Man, their offense is clucking, bro. Clucking right now. Defense playing well. they still scrapping. But yeah, I think the Sixers could actually make some noise in the playoffs this year. But I don't know about beating Boston.
I'm not betting on the Meat brothers.
The who now?
Yeah.
The who now?
Meat.
Me.
That's what Oubre and Maxi call
What are
themselves.
we doing now?
Oh, is
Man,
that what
yeah,
they
I'm not.
calling each other? Man, these names is crazy,
This
but I ain't resting these names. The dude talking about he tsunami poppy. We ain't fucking with that shit.
this ain't the year for the 76ers at the East, man. I like the Bucks. I don't know what G was talking about with old coach over there, but that's not why I like the Bucks. I like Dame and Giannis to get it together, man. Get some chemistry going. I like the Bucks out the East.
I mean, I'd love to see Dame get a ring, but I have no faith in that team. Like,
It hasn't been pretty. It hasn't been what I hoped it would be so far. I can definitely say that.
it's cool to see a playoff run. What I will say is, I don't think we see a bunch of sweeps or 4-1s this year.
He said, I got a quick question. Wait, before my phone died. So you said something about the Sixers. Y'all gonna beat the Bucks and Boston?
Nah, I said we gonna beat Cleveland in the first round.
Uh-huh.
Then we're gonna beat the Bucks in the second round. And I said, I
Uh-huh.
don't know about beating Boston though. That's kind of where I'm leaving.
That's where you draw the line at.
A lot has to happen. We haven't beat Boston. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Pedro Martinez. You feel me? The Celtics is Celtics is our daddy, man. They own us, bro. They own us. They own us. And until proven otherwise, they own us. But that's why we hired Nick Nurse, man. This is why we hired Nick Nurse. We wanted coaching. We needed schematics. You know what I'm saying? We needed something different, bro. We didn't need Doc Rivers in there talking about some. Yeah, I was trying to tell him about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, you know what I'm saying? Or, oh, hey, Mr. Excuses. That's the Doc Rivers is great at drawing up. He's the greatest at drawing up excuses, man. Yeah, man, players gonna play. Like, well, shut the fuck up, Doc. Shut the fuck up, Doc. All right, man. Any closing thoughts on this NBA shit, man? It's getting a little late over here.
Nah.
See,
All
T
right.
just trying to psych us out, man. Watch. Come April, my man's gonna be all about the Bucks.
I mean, I want the Bucks to win, but I'm a realist. If I don't think they can get it over the hump, I don't think they
To
got.
me, the East is coming down to the Bucks in Miami.
I think it's Tatum's year, baby.
Nah.
You picking Miami and the Lakers is just is silly to me, bro. But
I was
Picking
close
Miami
last
is
year.
crazy.
yeah, I mean, I hear you, bro. I hear you. All right, man. We gonna hit a quick culture real quick right before we go. Y'all heard about this? Bruno Mars, MG, not BetMGM. He owes $50 million to MGM. Y'all heard about that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
but I also heard that
He denied it.
I also heard that they have his contract is worth like $95 million though. So he's still
It's contractual. It's a contractual disagreement, is it?
okay. Oh, Brooks is saying it's fake. I mean, I don't see why a casino will let you get down $50 million, but I don't put it past a casino to do it.
It's not a gambling thing, from my understanding. I thought there was more to it, but it sounds like there was they have a deal with him or something like that.
But shit to all casino 50 million though. What the fuck? Caviar, lobster dinners, and golden flake ice creams.
I mean, he could make 50 mil. He could drop an album and recoup 50 mil, go on tour. He could make, even if it was real, he could make that in a year and a half.
I mean, he said he'd catch a grenade for you, so you're gonna have to eat that 50 million apparently.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, that is funny. All right, cool enough. That's all we got for today, man. Any closing thoughts? Anything else y'all want to talk about before we head out?
No, I don't got nothing.
Yeah, nothing for tonight. Nothing for tonight.
Oh,
All right, man.
You know, they told me some great news. That new X-Men 97 coming out. Y'all should go watch that. That was a classic right there.
Oh, this guy gonna promote some Marvel. All the Marvel hate he's done on the show. He gonna throw that out there. Now I am excited for that one though. Anybody who grew up on X-Men as a kid, that's some nostalgic vibes for you.
Yeah, I can't wait to the Juggernaut. You know what I'm saying?
Is it a cartoon?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
cartoon.
they're
The
bringing back
original?
the exact original from where they left off and all that. Brought back the old cast.
From
I
where
ain't
they
gonna
left
hold
off.
you. That was right up there with Dragon Ball Z for me, bro. That
Yeah, bro. They look. This is what the lead nigga at Marvel said. He said, in order to redo it, we got to bring back the cast and we got to have the rights to the music. So they got
right.
those
You
two
gotta
things
have
on
the
lock,
song,
and
bro.
they
That song is go hard as fuck,
Bring
bro.
back Jubilee and all that. Yeah, I need that.
yep.
Hey, that's lit. That's lit, man.
Hey, yo, Rome, you got braids in your beard?
Nah, it's his
Some grays?
headphones.
Hell yeah, I got grays.
No, braids. Like they're braided. They look like
Nah,
they're
it's his
Nah,
braided.
I
headphones.
ain't got no braids. That's the headphones, bruh.
Oh, bro, it fucking me out like
This
a what's
nigga.
braids? You in a biker gang. This guy's tough. My son gangster as hell. Like, he got braids in his beard. I am
Nah,
nervous.
I
Let me
mean,
stop
I
making
don't know.
fun of
I
the
don't know how you sit.
commanders.
I don't know how you sit and let somebody braid your face. That's crazy to me.
But if it's
I
your
mean,
shorty, why?
the fact that the funny thing is that you over here talking like you from Rome over here wearing headphones like he in 2009 and you picking the Lakers like it's 2009. Like something got to give, man. Y'all both need to come up to the new century, bro. Neither of those things is happening anymore.
Let's put a wager in. Let's put a funny wager.
What you talking about?
Let the Lakers go to the Western Conference Finals and Miami go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Too many conditions there. I got a better wager for you though. My wager for you, G, is that the Suns will make it farther in the playoffs than the Lakers.
All right, but I'll take that.
That's easy to keep up with. Now,
all
if y'all
right.
motherfuckers losing the play-in tournament, okay, then you feel me? Then I win. We'll see what happens though. I mean, they could both not make it, and then no one pays anybody. There you go.
A draw.
All right, that's a deal. Shake that, you know what I mean? All right, cool.
Never
All right.
take it on the homepage of FanDuel, bro.
Nah. Yeah, $20 hairs. All right, man. Y'all know how we end every show.
Hey,
Sports
sports
for the
for the
culture.